All right, then, let's begin. This is going to be a lot of fun as we're going to make these three companion characters to the main character. We can review her real quick as she, by making her first, or at least first before the secondary characters, though we made our villain first because the villain is actually the star of the show. Shh, don't tell anyone that. We made our main character and went in depth with her first because that is where the development and the focus is going to be primarily in the writing. The other characters that are with her are going to accentuate her and add to her experience of the world that we're writing, which is our lens into this fantasy realm of some kind. And if you're going to play along at home, if you have the Dungeon Master's Guide with you and the Player's Handbook, we'll definitely be using those. If you don't have one, hey, hop over to your friendly local game store and support a small business, especially if they've earned your business. Give them a look, give them some of the business, and you too can do this on your own at home. I love teaching techniques and ways. I talked about this right before we went on break. I never want these exercises to come across as me telling you this is the only way to do it. I am not your literature professor. I'm not your English professor. And Australis Plays, thank you very much for the follow and welcome to the Hero Zone. Sounds like we might have another person from Oceania joining us. And Ethereal, hey, it is good to see you again. So yes, as I was saying, I want to just get you to think, not tell you what to think, and I want you to use the lectures, so to speak, or the examples as springboards for your own research and imagination and your own development. And then you can always you culture that on your own. And if you ever want feedback on it, you can come to our Discord, and myself and others will be happy to further refine your idea if you need it. So we have our main character here, Ubu. There was Bue. Bowie was a strong contender, especially given the sailor antagonist going against. We had a lawful evil young adult, 12-year-old, half-orc Valor Bard. She will go on to be a Valor Bard. Bard, who is a guild merchant, in particular a smith or metalworker. She's missing 2 fingers. High con, low whiz. She's great with kids. She is an only child, which might explain why. She enunciates overly clearly, probably out of the smithing background. Very hot-tempered. Probably coming from her, she's coming of age, she's growing up, and even a hot temper might be something that, like, look, have any of you ever worked in a kitchen? Not necessarily the kitchen at home, but if you've been in a restaurant, chefs, this might startle you. Some chefs, even celebrity chefs, are known to have a hot temper in a dangerous, fast-paced working environment filled with sharp objects and fire. That's a kitchen that can also explain a smithy. But she was booted up to the retail counter. She's a guild merchant in that regard. She was sent to finishing school of some kind, this Bardic College, to learn and maybe to grow, to be given an opportunity. Maybe she's the first in her family who is getting to get a higher education and not simply be, another smith. Or to work in that regard. There's a lot of different ways that we can take these prompts that we rolled. Her ideal, bond, and flaw. We have this here, and we went through the process in Xanathar's Guide called This Is Your Life to continue to fill her out in more detail, because we're going to get a lot more detail about our main character than we will our side characters. Now, in regards to this, we want characters who might share some similarities, but also differences, especially in how they express themselves, because that will give a dearth, D-E-A-R-T-H, a dearth of opinions and observations about the world that will allow us to actively and passively develop the world, develop the story, to flesh it out, or at least to keep things open for consideration. And maybe one day, we too will have theorists on the internet go, oh, the author totally insinuated that this in this story, and then look at this evidence. And meanwhile, we're just like, no, it's just sort of, we left that open. If you think that's the case and you connect the dots, cool, but you know, it didn't really. Yeah, I mean, totally, the whole time. That's what it was. So I have our 3 worksheets ready to go. Demon Quiller wants to roll the first that's available. Now, there is a special rule for these. We have our character archetypes. We have our character archetypes that are handy, and that is going to be important because I want to give the characters something else beyond just their race, class, and background, beyond the fact that they carry a sword or an axe or a wand or a dagger or whatever. Because having different personalities or ways to express themselves are going to be important for showcasing a lot of our world and themselves. And the reason why we're going to roll a D13 is there are 12 character archetypes, but for sure, I want a mentor among them. So it would be, it'd be like the mentor, 2 others, and then the kid hero. And this is going to help determine unless you all want them to be, you know what, maybe I'll open that up as a poll. We have 36 of you out in chat. Maybe I can ask you all if you want the other companions to be young kids also, or if you want it to be the type of story like I insinuated in the last part with the Walking Dead video game by Telltale, where Clementine is a main character, a major character, but she's the child among the adults in a world where things are going on. So maybe I'll open that up, but for sure, I want a mentor. And we'll save mentor for number 13. If 13 does not come up over the course of our first 2 characters, then our final character will end up being the mentor, however he or she develops. Let's see. We have our... Oh, I'm sorry. There was one more. For those of you following along, we are also going to be referencing this site. This came up on past lectures, talkabouts. As this will go over, this is specifically talking about characters. We have minor characters, you know, what kind, the importance of character, examples of them. But if there's other things that you want to include, jargon, for example, what really helps sell Batman Beyond as being in the future, being kind of different, is that the main character has a slang word that all the kids are using these days in the future. So here's a pop culture quiz for you in chat. What was the term used in Batman Beyond as future slang that a lot of people use to try and make the setting futuristic, or, you know, just to make sure it was set slightly apart from what we know today's world to be? I'm going to enjoy a carbonated apple cinnamon cider soda. Oh, no one. We're scratching heads here. I don't have a cricket sound effect. Maybe that's what I can put on my on my stream deck is what it's called. Shui. Rob, close. So shui meant cool. Now cool, that's what all the old people say. all the neat, you know, the modern slang, shui. But yeah, Rob, you were very close. You were there in spirit. So as you can see, there are a lot of things that we can look into for categories. LiteraryTerms.net is a great site. Use it, reference it. Just like artists reference photographs and other paintings and the like, as a writer, it's absolutely okay to reference things. If you want let's look at the last thing. What did we talk about for mentors? We referenced other mentors. And it's perfectly okay if our mentor ends up a lot like George Feeney from Boy Meets World. Okay? You know? Because George Feeney is in Boy Meets World, but we can have a mentor character a lot like him in our world that's not George Feeney. It's Fjord's Genie or something like that. And he's still going to be our character, our mentor in our world, saying the things we want him to say. And it's fine. It's okay to use references. I will give you permission to do so. If there's any artists out there, you'll win. I don't know if you're still hanging out, or if any of you out there do traditional 2D or 3D art, or computer generated art or whatnot. I would imagine if you do, you also can give people permission who are starting artists or starving artists even. It's okay to use references. If I have a feather in my cap and I can say that I write, I also want to give you permission to use references. That said, don't plagiarize. Plagiarizing is bad. No plagiarizing. But it's okay to use examples and references. And in thematic storytelling, thematic are universal things. And as we came about here, we have our 12 archetypes. And the creator, we could go through all kinds of comic books and myths and histories and everything. Novels, movies. And we will find 100 different creators. They are all creators. However, we have 100 different characters. So anyway, as the quick review there, we have that. We are going to cross-reference some things with the physical manifestation, how the character does what they do, after we've discovered who our character is. And if you want this, let me provide this one more time, so you can follow along at home if you're still busting out your DMGs and your hubba 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 haze. And I think I provided this one, but just in case, this is going to talk about the hero's journey, because I know after Fav, oh my gosh, I know as someone who works in pop culture all day, every day, the lack of creativity and imagination, it's not that it doesn't exist, but for the ones who hold the purse strings or make the executive decisions, there is just so much creative bankruptcy. It's saddening. And Kenshin Gensai, welcome. Yokoso to you. The Batosai? But welcome to the Hero Zone all the same, Kenshin. Seasons 1 and 2? Season 3 existed. Kinda. But seasons 1 and 2? Mwah. Anyway. What were we doing? We're going to make our supporting cast for our main character of our NaNoWriMo project. Please, everyone, join me. This is going to be interactive. So for those of you hanging out in chat, I will call on you for some dice rolls. And for example, if I ask for D100, you type exclamation point 1D100. And as you see, now you don't see it up here because the bot commands don't show up in this chat. But hopefully in your chat, you will see that it will produce a random number from 1 to 100. In this case, we got 65. What does 65 mean? I don't know. That's going to depend on what we're going for. But anyway, we have a worksheet, so I don't want this process to make any of you go, ay, 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 ay. Like Alpha, or even Psy, ay, 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 like Psyduck, okay? Aha, we're referencing characters, and we're referencing all sorts of other things. Let's have fun with this. Keep an open mind, and don't let it overwhelm you. Trust that the story will write itself. There are some places that have OWOs. There are some places that have UWOs. Here we have IWIs. IWI stands for It Writes Itself, and the story will write itself. As we're going to get going, I'm going to also open up a poll. I'm going to ask you all, and you all can vote once. Story type. All right, this is going to be open for 5 minutes, and I want you to tell me Australis plays 65. What does that mean? Bad things if this was a free league. Oh, like if you're rolling sixes in like Alien RPG or something. Coming up with names is tough. Chashensa, we actually have a way to do that, but I'm not worried about the name just yet. The name is going to be one of the last things that we apply to the character. Yeah, on a D66. Yep, exactly. Yeah. I got you. I'm on to you. So the poll that's open for 5 minutes is what type of story? Our main character for sure is a grumpy, lawful evil 12-year-old blacksmith going to bard school. All right, she's a lot deeper than that. That's a quick pitch. We know that she's young. Do you want her companions except the mentor to be young? And so this is like, hey, we're in middle school, and the story's going to follow her and the other kids on a kid adventure. Or do you want this to be more teen, where like we have a kid as a character, but the other people are adults, and so we're still getting the story through the main character's eyes, but it's about everything that's bigger around her because she's surrounded by adults and everything that happens there. So go ahead and vote once up above. I see that there are 35 people in chat. We have 7 people who voted. The poll should be at the top of chat, at least in the browser. I don't know where it is on your phone or your tablet if you're watching on mobile. I'm sorry, I wish Twitch had a more elegant way of this. But it's 4-3. Are we doing all kids except the mentor? Is 4 votes, and 3 votes to more of a teen adventure where like the main character is a kid, but everyone else is older, like teens or older adults. And that's the point of view of that story. Like The Walking Dead by Telltale Games. Clementine is the only kid effectively in the cast, and everyone else are the adults doing, like, handling the adult problems of the world of The Walking Dead. Other than that, it's kind of a scrappy young kid adventure where, you know, the main characters are kids, but there is an older mentor kind of a thing. After Fav is voting for a Victorian melodrama. It's either heart puncture or decapitation. Oh no. Although there is a 2d6 command that can always be rolled too, Australis. To quote Daria, I don't like kids. I didn't like kids when I was a kid. Well, in this case, after Fav, our main character gets along really well with kids. Is this a kids on bike? Are we using the wrong system of Dungeons and Dragons? Should this really be Tales from the Loop or Kids on Bikes? All right, anyway. While you all are voting, it looks like 6-4. It could still go either way. There's maybe about 2 minutes left on it. Just pure young adult where like everyone's like kids. When I say kids, I mean like, 12, 13. Like they're all in middle school and we can follow them kind of coming of age, learning about things in that perspective. Or is the main character the only kid in the cast and everything else are like higher level adult problems? Kids on Slopes? Hey, that'll be soon enough when the snow starts flying. Oh, wow. How visceral, DQ. And thank you for sharing that, too. All right. I'm not worried about the occupation and history just yet. Let's get into a couple other things. Let's crack open our Dungeon Master's guides, all right? If y'all are playing along with that. Because we have a couple things that we want to determine. DQ, you wanted first roll. I need you to roll a 1d20 in chat, please. My alien game looked like Event Horizon. Woo! Lands on a 12. All right, let's get this open. Bloop. And bloop. 12, unusual skin color. Oh, okay. And I suppose we'll see who this character is more and what could make it unusual. Does it glow? Is it, are elves, let's say we have an elf, I don't even know if we do. Do elves only have metallic silver or gold? And she actually has a, I don't know, she has copper? This is a note to come back to. Speaking of 2d6, Australis, will you please type ! 2d6 in chat, no spaces. ! number 2, letter D, number 6. Also, Zeta, I'm sorry I didn't see you in here earlier. Gaming Zeta Nazero, welcome. Thank you for hanging out. We might have lost Australis. Let's see, can I have... Rob, if you're here, Rob. Can I have a 2d6 roll, please? ! 2d6. Don't forget, you can use your inspiration points to lock in a roll, everyone. Lands on a 3 and a 6. You know what? I forgot to check. What was the result of the poll? It didn't put it up in chat here. Or if I did, I missed it. It looks like we have a high con, low charisma. In broad terms, it was kids? Okay. In broad terms, we are hearty, hale, and healthy. But we're also kind of dull or boring. Could be like a meathead, like the jock style. I need a talent. Chashensha. Will you please type ! 1d20? Kids with a mentor? Alright, Cha, then that's what we'll do. 5. Great with animals. Okay. We have a particular mannerism. Freestyle. Freestyle HQ. ! 1d20, please. If there's anyone out there in chat that would like to participate, say so up here so I know who's watching and who can turn around the dice commands. Freestyle gives us a 7. Whispers. All right, let's continue up. After Fav, if you are here, Can I get a 1d12 roll, please? Exclamation point 1d12. Hey, Camp Custom, howdy to you. So we have Camp Custom and Rip Artist. I will call on you two next. Ethereal is here as well. Excellent. After Fav gives us a 6, friendly. Ideal Bond and Flaw will come up in just a little bit. I'm not worried about that. Now, who is this character? Which kind of a character do we have? Camp Custom Designs. Can I get a D13 roll in chat? Exclamation point 1D13. And howdy to you, Diadems. Maybe I can get you in on a roll here coming up real soon as well. Oh, you need the 1 in there. Exclamation point 1D13. You end up with a 12. A jester style character. An intentionally funny character who provides comic relief, but may also speak important truths. Strengths include the ability to be funny, disarming, and insightful. Now, we have a low charisma, so our jokes are probably... oh, wait. Oh, that was a D14 you rolled. Okay. A D13 is a 3. So by that, you totally meant a magician. A powerful figure who has harnessed the ways of the universe to achieve their goals. Their strengths may include omniscience, omnipotence, and discipline, while their weaknesses center on corruptibility and arrogance. Alright, so we have a magician character. Okay. Now, occupation... no, that's fine, Camp. We can go to our manual of player character golems real quick to gen up some of these other details. Rip Artist. Can I get an exclamation point 1D100 roll, please? And remember, you all can use your experience points if you want to lock in something in particular. Or not experience points. You can use your inspiration points. Lands on a 99. Oh, I guess we're going to ultimately have a multi-class character. So this will be an interesting build. We have a very experienced... so roll it again, Rip Artist. Give me another 1D100 roll. Pardon. Because we're ultimately going to have a character that's going to go into something. Oh, you know what? It's probably... I forget what the cooldown is offhand. Hang on. I'll call on you for something else, Rip Artist, to make up for that. To keep things going, Diadems, if you're out there, can I get an exclamation point 1D100 roll from you, sir? And let's see, I'm going to call on Ethereal as well. Diadems, Ethereal, and if there's anyone else out there that wants to join in, let me know in chat. Raise your hand, put an emote out there, say, pick me, pick me. 32, all right. Ethereal, I need an exclamation point 1D9, please. Stops on a 9. We have a tiefling. Okay, then. Okay, Camp. Well, oh, Karma, you'd like to join? Karma, I would like to know with an exclamation point 1D100, a percentile roll. what her alignment will be. You know, we were just talking about tieflings being sheeplings in our environment creation stream. So instead of being born of devils, they're born of herbivores, sheeplings. Stops on a 30. Just neutral good. Hey. All right, Camp, tell you what, I can call on you for a round 2. If there is anyone out there that hasn't rolled yet, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll go back and call on those who have already rolled for a second round. But Camp Custom, can I get a exclamation point 1d18? And Rip Artist, I'm going to give you your makeup roll since the D100 was on cooldown. Stops on a 16. Sailor, ooh, pirate, even. Now, this could be very interesting in contrast to our villain. All right, let's get Diadems. Can you give me a 2d8 roll, please? And Rip Artist, can I get a 3d6 roll from you? $2d8, please, Diadems. Exclamation point 2d8. And Rip Artist, if you're out there, can I get an exclamation point 3d6? So we have personality trait 7 and 2. And then ideal bond and flaw 6, 5, 3. Excellent. Now let's see how this character is going to at least start off. Now, if they're all starting as kid characters, they're probably not starting multi-classed, but it will be a direction in which we can write the character, showing development and interest in something. Can I have Freestyle HQ give me a 1d13 roll? Afro Rob, if you're still hanging out with us, I will call on you afterwards to give me the other class. Or rather, the subclass for the first. We'll do this in order. Eight. This is a paladin. And Rob, can I get a D3? Oh, geez. If you give us, is it a 2? What would be absolutely ancients if it was a 1? If it's a 1, this is gonna get super interesting real quick. So I need a D4, Afro. I'm sorry, Afro Rob. It was it's a D4 because I forgot about the Oathbreaker as a paladin type. So a D3 was what I thought if we were excluding the Oathbreaker. in which case you gave us a 1, but I want you to roll a d4 instead. We might still get 1, because it really, if it's 1, this is going to be an interesting connection to the villain. Hey, Jotun. Jotun, if you're hanging out, I could call on you for a dice roll if you're up for it. 2. Devotion. Okay. Now, you might go, ooh, but what's the connection with the Oath of the Ancients paladin? Well, that's a direct connection to the villain, though a devotion could still be. This would have been just a super direct one. We technically got it with a D3, but it was my bad on not including the Oathbreaker, so we needed a D4. That is not bad, though, because eventually we're going into the Oath of Devotion. And also, something else. Jotun, can I get a D13 roll in chat? Exclamation point 1 D13, no spaces. Exclamation point number 1, letter D as in doggo, number 13. Lands on a 12. Oh, a Paladin Warlock. And, okay. Especially Karma? Especially because this character has low charisma. And I think we can do some powerful storytelling with that. Alright, let me get a Chashensha. If you're out there, can I get a 1d3 roll, please? Exclamation point 1d3. Ethereal, I'll call on you again if you're out there. As well, we have a 1. An Archfey? Oh, alright, never mind. We are meats back on the menu, boys. As we have a Warlock, an Archfey Warlock. This is absolutely going to make the villain go, oh, whoa. And Ethereal, I need a D3 roll from you, please. Exclamation point 1d3. Chain. Ooh. So our sheepling here might get like a little sheep familiar or something. I don't know. We'll see. But this is the warlock that uses familiars. Hi, Pixel.
Sound a feasting horn.
And Cryptic Corpse 77, welcome to the Hero Zone. Thank you for joining our workshop. Pixel, may I have you roll exclamation point 1d6? Yeah, they are good with animals. I think, Rob, we still very much have a case of it writes itself. There's a lot here we can work with. Lands on a 6. So we have a young adult who is 17 years old. So now in this case, what could that mean for her having unusual skin color? And if not skin, would it be unusual hair color if we're going with the idea from our setting building workshop where we have dwarves that are more aquatic attuned and our tieflings are mechanically tieflings, though they have the appearance more like sheeps and ram and other herbivores instead, for the horns and the odd eyes and the hooves on the feet and other such things. Oh, are you building characters? I just built a tiefling druid. Really fun so far. Also, glad to be here. Yep, we are. We're going through a different version of our character build that we normally do because we're developing them different from play, as these are going to be characters in our fantasy novel that we are providing the outline for over the course of this month for National Novel Writing Month. Phobomancer? No, this is a support character to the main character we made last week. Now, if you're playing along at home, if you have the player's handbook and you have the Dungeon Master's Guide ready, then we're going to open up to Chapter 4, which talks about our personalities, ideals, bonds, and flaws, and we are going to set those against the character type this supporting character has. Now, we rolled Sailor in specific, we rolled Pirate. And we're going to translate this over to a... a 17-year-old, somewhat fresh to the world, and go along with the theme that we're writing, which is more of a young adult style from how our original main character randomly turned out. Let's see, personality trait number 7 says, my language is as foul as an audiog nest. So she says bad words. Probably, I don't. The main character's probably heard it working in a smithy, but that could be some fun interactions to write in addition to everyone else, right? So she's the big kid. She's the older kid of the group. She's 17, and she probably says some very earthy things. And point number 2, I work hard so that I can play hard when the work is done. Maybe she likes sports or other contests, or she just really likes her free time. But she'll do what you ask her to do. Her ideal is number 6, aspiration. Let's move this over. Someday, I'll own my own ship, or an equivalent, and chart my own destiny. Her bond is number 5. I was cheated out of my fair share of profits, and I want to get my due. Now, profits, it could be in this world. I mean, maybe she's old enough to be a fully fledged pirate, or we can interpret that as she was meant to get a particular position. Maybe she was in a kind of a pirate ROTC, ROTC, which, you know, trains people to go into officership from high school into the military. And she was supposed to, she went through the pirate ROTC program, and she was cheated out of it, maybe by a rival or the villain or something, or a circumstance. And that led her astray, so she didn't get piratehood or just whatever privateerhood even. Doesn't mean that she has to be villainous because we rolled pirate. A flaw or a secret. Number 3. This is once someone questions my courage, I never back down, no matter how dangerous the situation. Yeah, good thing she whispered. Yeah. So as people are walking bad, she'll just mumble something like, "Oh man, you really stink," or "Oh, what a," whatever. Right? Fill in what you want. Yeah, she's very competitive. And the character archetype that we rolled for her is magician. So how do we take the personality traits, ideal, bond, and flaw and put it against this? A powerful figure who has harnessed the ways of the universe to achieve their goals. Their strengths may include omniscience, omnipotence, and discipline, while their weaknesses center on corruptibility and arrogance. Prospero, Gandalf, Morpheus, and Dumbledore are famous magician characters. I think she has it, especially if the fact that she's starting out as a low charisma style character. She's boorish or dull, or she can't express herself very well for some reason. We can come up with a reason. However, the mechanics to employ her abilities are that through a paladin and a warlock, interestingly enough. And so we take those personality concepts and we think about this. Someone who is going to become as she ages. Maybe she has to find herself. Or we're talking about whispers, right, Karma? She has to find her voice. Maybe she's not very charismatic because she doesn't speak a lot. She's very timid in that regard. But once she finds her voice at some part of the story, then the power manifests and she realizes that she has so much potential. All she had to do was step up and to speak and to, do more in that regard. If she's a sailor or ROTC or ROTC, that would be her discipline, and her harsh mouth could be her arrogance. Yes, Cryptic. I'm wondering about that, honestly. Seems like she can be quiet, some good with animals. People are IRL too. It writes itself. The system will absolutely write itself here. All the characters we make have this uncanny knack to turn out this way. And so when she does speak, it's maybe inappropriate for the situation, or something's going on and I don't know, there's a really tense moment, or the kids are sneaking around and they're trying to overhear the big bad evil guy's plan, and I don't know, the brute standing before the BBEG, who's a sailor on a vengeance quest against Fae, ends up just like absolutely ripping one, and the kids are hiding an event, and she actually just sort of like can't help it and starts laughing or going like, "Oh, good one, dude," or something like that, and kind of gets him in trouble or raises the stakes in suspension or something. I don't know. Situations like that can come up, and remember, we're writing at least this initial story from a young adult, from a YA point of view. Not that there can't be violence or other things, but this isn't going to be too heavy. So Nickelodeon style laughing at a fart is absolutely fine, and would be appropriate to, especially to a character like this. So very interesting. So we have the magician, who's going to be a companion to the main character. Let's move on, shall we? Yes, we shall. Pardon me. Now, Phobomancer, Cryptic Corpse, Pixel, and others. We're going to roll our next character. There's 39 of you in chat. If you want to participate, you can always spend your inspiration points for a workshop dice roll. If you want to specify the roll that you'd like to lock in with those points, please do so with a little message for inspiration. Otherwise, I'm just going to randomly call on people in chat to help us come up with our second character. But then also throw in some like Naruto Shippuden wisdom and stuff in there. Yeah, so she'll probably have those nuggets of wisdom, right? Australis Plays, I'd be interested to see you do this with the Traveler character system. With its... Oh, yeah. Will we get that famed instance of dying in our own backstory? I wonder, Australis. All right. Then, Pixel, I would like a 1d20 roll from you, please. Exclamation point 1d20. Stops on a 17. We have someone with a distinctive nose. All right, I need a 2d6 from Camp Custom Designs. Exclamation point 2d6. And then can I get a 1d20 from Australis Plays? 5. All right, so we can't have we can't really have the same. Camp Custom, 1d6 now, please. So the high is going to be Wisdom. This character is perceptive, spiritual, and insightful. And Camp, I need a number other than 5, please. All right, I want you to... We're going to go all out. Exclamation point 4d6. Statistically, one of those 4 dice should not be a 5. The first non-5 is what we're looking for. And if you roll all 5s, I don't know what to tell you. All right, 2. Low dex. High wisdom, low dex. So we are clumsy or fumbling. It was close. All right, Australis tells us our talent is an expert cook. Cryptic Corpse, I need a 1d20 roll from you, please. Exclamation point 1d20. Freestyle, please don't roll until I ask for it, because I don't want to lose it. Cryptic rolls a 1. Prone to singing, whistling, or humming quietly. All right, our interaction with others. This is a D12. And can I have Karma the Goat? 1d12, please. Exclamation point, 1d12 from Karma the Goat. Lands on a 7. Honest. All right, Archetype, Freestyle. I want you to roll a 1d13. And you will let us know our character's archetype. There's our mentor. Okay, there we go. That was a 13. So we have our mentor figure. And so now we're going to go down to a D12 for the others. We'll find out, Australis, because we need to get into that part of our character. So Australis, exclamation point 1d100, please. If anyone else out there would like to roll, let me know. Chashensha, if you're out there, Ethereal, Jotun, Wolf, Afro Rob, Diadems, others out there, let me know. Let's get you involved. Rolls a 93. We have another multi-class character? Oh my goodness. All right, Australis, I'll come back to you. You're on cooldown for the D100, but we'll find out what we have coming up next. Can I have... well, hey, that mentor's going to tell you things. That mentor will be honest, but I don't know. Karma, you just rolled. Cryptic Corpse, can I get a 1d100 roll from you, please? Yes, Demon Quiller, I need a 1d9 roll from you, please. All right, we have a female character. A female dwarf character. And in particular, in case it matters, I don't know. In case it matters, DQ, give me a D12 roll. Odds. It is a hill. Evens, it's a mountain dwarf. Okay, Rob, I'll call on you in just a moment. Yeah, DQ, a quick follow-up roll with a 1d12. Because D12s don't get a lot of love, everyone. And Australis, I need a D100 from you for your makeup roll for from the multi-class. Lands on a 3, we have a hill dwarf. All right. I don't know how much that could matter, especially because we have our dwarves are aquatic, but I don't know. We'll find out. Lands on an 88. Neutral evil. Interesting. Okay. So even though man, y'all are making this a very compelling story by going above and beyond with the odds here. So 88 is just in the realm of neutral evil as a mentor even. Okay. All right, Rob, I need a D18! Exclamation point, 1D18, please. Six. Ooh, a gladiator as an entertainer. Okay. Are we creating the female version of Danzo, says Cryptic Corpse. Alright, now we need to determine what the multi-class mix is for this character. Can I have Camp Custom roll a D13 in chat, please? And Pixel Flora, I will call on you next. So a 1D13 from Camp Custom Designs stops on a 4, a cleric. Okay. And Pixel Flora, may I please have a 1D8 roll from you? Yeah, another 5, right? Lands on a 5. Oh, there's the 5. We have a nature cleric. And Karma, exclamation point, 1D13. Who else is hanging out that hasn't rolled in a bit? Freestyle. I'm going to want you to roll the subclass after we learn what the second class is going to be. Lands on a 3. 3 is Bard. Okay, maybe this is where the main character meets up with the mentor. And can I get a freestyle, a 1D12 roll? Odds, it's a lore bard. Evens, it's a valor bard. Valor, just like the main hero. It seems the mentor might be a defense against the dark arts teacher here. Has her own intentions in mind for using the students. All right, now, this dwarf is at least adult, because the mentor is the only one who's going to be older in the rest of the group. So let's go to Hill Dwarf and roll. Bloop, bloop, bloop. There we go. Let's get Cryptic Corpse, exclamation point, 1D100, please. I appreciate you joining us here. You know what? If Ethereal's hanging out, I'm sorry, Ethereal. I didn't call on you here. Yeah, like a Snape freestyle. You know, we were just talking about red herrings as characters in the prior segment. Stops on an 11. All right, no young adults. We've had that already. So actually, let's just do this then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cryptic, roll a D6 in chat. Exclamation point, 1D6. Hi, Yulwin. Hill dwarf that starved himself in a much scrawnier looking build. Stops on a 5. So we have an ancient. Oh, so maybe this is the last adventure of this character before retirement or something. So we have an ancient mentor. We have an ancient, let's see, that's 350 plus years. So an ancient neutral evil female hill dwarf multi-class nature cleric valor bard entertainer gladiator. And in particular now with this, Chashensha, can I get an exclamation point 2d8? And Yilwin Valter, may I please have an exclamation point 3d6? We have personality 5 and 3. And then we have an ideal bond and flaw coming up from Yilwin if you're hanging out with us still. No space, just exclamation point number 3, letter D, number 6. 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's check out the Pahubba Hubba Hubba Hey. If you're playing along at home, make sure you have your Dungeon Master's Guide and your Player's Handbook. If you don't have one, hey, make sure you go to your friendly local game store. Give them some business if they've earned it from you, and pick up these books. They're amazing, and as you're seeing, they're unlocking unlimited potential and adventure for you. All right, so let's scroll up to Entertainer. And in particular, we got Gladiator. A gladiator is as much an entertainer as any minstrel or circus performer, trained to make the arts of combat into a spectacle the crowd can enjoy. This kind of flashy combat is your entertainer routine, though you might also have some skills as a tumbler or actor. Using your by popular demand, you can find a place to perform. All right. Quirk, hey, when we do this and things like that come up, maybe it plays into her name or nickname, or it's just it's a side note, exactly like you talked about. Because look, the dice are trying to tell you something. The dice are here to tell the story and to help the story write itself. And wouldn't you know, we are being raided by Cluvette. Welcome with a party of 40 strong in the Hero Zone, everyone. Welcome, Clover Raid, Clover Raid, Clover Raid. Heck yeah. Thank you. Can we get some love and cheer for our raiders? There's Bear Arms as well coming in with the Cluvette raid. Thank you very much, Cluvette. We are conducting a workshop for NaNoWriMo. We are making the support characters for our main character. And of course, our main character was made even after our villain. And we're having an amazing time going through literature, going through character development, and the processes and the considerations for making compelling stories. So thank you for joining us here. And we're using D&D as a basis. Let me give you a shout out. Boop. There you go. There are the shoutouts to Clovette. Which retro game were you playing? Hi, Rad Trails. Good to see you. Bear Arms brought some new friends here to show how wholesome you are. How thank you. How thank you, Bear Arms. Oh, you beat Super Mario RPG? Aha. Well, please don't think too poorly. Our main character is a smithy. So, you know, just we got to separate. We got to separate the art from the artist here, okay? Separate the villain from the hero. Well, congrats on that. I hope you really enjoyed it. Especially if it was your first playthrough. I hope that you had an amazing time. And, yeah, okay, then there you go. So we ended up rolling into a 12-year-old as the main character, which is kind of putting us in the young adult writing. And the point of view is going to be her and some classmates are getting into trouble, as they do. And we're just making her mentor, who's actually evil. This is getting super spicy and a lot of fun. We're trusting the story to write itself. We're not giving writer's block a chance to set in. We are producing the dots, and we will connect the dots. We will believe in ourselves. All right, what is her personality like? Let's scoot this over a little bit so it'll be easier to write. Personality trait 5. I love a good insult. Even one directed at me. Well, she'll get along with the sheepling then. And actually, that might be the mentor connection. And personality trait number 2. I'm a hopeless... You go, Grandma. I'm a hopeless romantic. You go, Grandma. I'm a hopeless romantic. Always searching for that special someone. Our ideal is 4. Greed. I'm only in it for the money and fame. So in this case, while being a mentor, ultimately she's going to try and springboard herself in this last adventure of her life off the backs of the kids that she's taking on this adventure and trying to, tutor and to show the world. Her bond is number 5. I will do anything to prove myself superior to my hated rival. Oh. Uh-oh. Pescattios with meatballs. So that includes possibly even getting these kids in trouble for her own benefit. And so in this case, everyone, we don't have a villain per se. She's definitely an antagonist, or despite being a mentor, she might even be a foil of sorts. And her flaw is number 6. Despite my best efforts, I am unreliable to my friends. And this is going to set her up during the course of the story for her to perhaps have a humbling moment, because she's very full of herself and she's lived a good long life. She's trying to get one last adventure in, maybe to try and escape the fact of that she is so old. And I think that it might not necessarily set a redemption. This could be a final regret in the case that the mentor dies during the course of the story. And maybe she wants to go against this building flaw, and she might sacrifice herself to save the kids, or it's a confession or something along those lines from the mentor. Yeah, you know what? Anti-hero? You know what, Freestyle? Maybe anti-hero is a better descriptor. She does good things, but not necessarily because they're good. She does good things because they serve her. Yeah, some might call them my students. Others might call them my cannon fodder. Yeah, and she's honest. She's 350. She doesn't have to hide anything. She is allowed to have an unvarnished opinion. And how many of you out there, if you have a grandpa, or if you have an abuela, or you have someone in your life who's older, how many of them have unvarnished opinions? And if so, I want you to route that energy into this mentor character. So, I'm sorry, again, Clovette, thank you so much for coming over. Bear, for recommending Clovette and everyone in that community from a successful Mario RPG run over here to the Hero Zone. We are primarily a workshop channel. While we are located in D&D, we teach D&D character building, setting building. We made the setting with beans and rice on a map. I try and keep it as accessible as possible through the concepts presented, through the materials we use. I mean, take a look at my fancy, I want you to look at my fancy map program. It's called Paint. and you can make compelling maps using this. Now, there are other pieces of software that are a lot, are more advanced and will do some pretty stuff for you, but I want this to be as accessible as possible to as many, to let you know that you are welcome in the hobby. You should already have the tools and the mentality for it, and I'm just here to offer you directions in which you can continue to pursue it. Hi, GM's Perspective. Good to see you. All right, we have one last character to make real quick. Bear Arms, if you're hanging out. Yulwin, Clovette, if you're still here, I would love to involve you in this last character that we are making together. For anyone who came over in the raid, if you're brand new here, let me know, and I want to call on you in chat to help us with this process. And so to do that, let's get going. GM's Perspective. Can you give me an exclamation point 1d20 in chat? Exclamation point 1d20. All right, it lands on a 4. This person wears formal, clean clothes. All right, next up, Bear Arms. May I please have an exclamation point 2d6 roll? Exclamation point 2d6. Australis, may I please have a 1d20 roll in chat? Let's see, our character has a high charisma, so we are a persuasive, forceful, born leader, but a low dexterity, so we're kind of clumsy. High chaw, low dex. Australis tells us, an expert carpenter even. All right, next up, Karma the Goat. Can I get a 1d20 roll in chat, please? And Freestyle, I saw you on that. I'll call you out on that in just a moment. $15. Stares into the distance. Our interaction with others is going to be on a 1d12 Pixel Flora, exclamation point 1d12. And I'm sorry, Cryptic, you said she's sounding like Gandalf now. I just saw that comment. I'm sorry I didn't read it earlier. I got so flustered after the raid. But Cryptic, I'll call on you here. 9, irritable. Cryptic Corpse, may I please have an exclamation point 3d6? And Yulwin Voltar, may I please have an exclamation point 2d8? And then Freestyle, if you want to roll, you can roll the d12. Lands on a 6, and let's find out which character archetype is that. The Sage. A wise figure with knowledge for those who inquire. Strengths of the Sage include wisdom, experience, and insight. In terms of weakness, the Sage may be overly cautious and hesitant to actually join the action. A few famous sages: Athena, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Hannibal Lecter, who is an evil sage. All right, looks like we lost the people for those rolls. Can I have Rad Trills? Rad Trills, may I please have an exclamation point 2d8? And Morikoto, if you're still here, Morekouto, Morikoto, are you still here? And I can call on you as well. Seems not. Hello, who's out there? Hi, everyone. Who wants to roll some dice? Keys. Keys, I need you to type exclamation point 2d8 for me, please. I'm in desperate need of some dice rollers. I thought this place had a bunch of dice goblins in it. Five and a 5? We can't have the same personality trait. Keys, type exclamation point 1d6. GM's perspective, can I get a 3d6, please? So a 5 and a 3 for personality. Oh, you know what? That should have been a d8, but you know what? We'll stick with it. Because d6s are for the ideal bond and flaw. It's just exclamation point, the number 3, the letter D, the number 6. No spaces, no extra words. 3, 4, 1. Excellent. And we'll find out what that means here in just a moment. So now, let's go to our other part of our character builder. Are we going to get a third multi-class? Let's find out. Chashensha, will you please type exclamation point 1d100? I need a percentile roll in chat. $74, we have a male character. And Karma the Goat, I need a D9 roll in chat, please. An elf. All right, now Karma, give me a D3 roll to tell me which kind of an elf we have. No, that's fine. Hey, Dark Heresy's fun. I ran Dark Heresy for years. We went through the whole Harlock trilogy and beyond, and it then leapt over into Rogue Trader. Stops on a 3. We have a wood elf. Okay, so we have a male wood elf. Let's see. Afro Rob, exclamation point 1d100. Hi, Golden. Golden, if you want to help us roll, I could use your help. Golden, will you please type exclamation point 1d18. 94. Chaotic evil. Why are we rolling all evil on my good distribution? Alright, well then. We have some unruly kids, but that's fine. Because you know what? A good story has compelling characters, and if this person is very impulsive and selfish, so be it. You all are breaking the odds to tell this story, and I look forward to see how it's going to come together. Background number 6, another gladiator. Oh, well, I think I know how the mentor found this person. Maybe the story is writing itself in that regard as too. All right, next up, I need... Who else is hanging out here? Bear Arms, exclamation point 1d13, please. The concept or the prompt is that we are planning to write a fantasy novel. Now, it could be translated in a sense to a campaign, but we're more in control of the characters with a novel. And so I want to make sure there's a distinction. We're approaching this from novel writing, but there are aspects of this that could be interpreted into campaign writing. Diadems, can I get a 1d13 roll if you're in chat? Exclamation point 1d13, please. Seven. A monk. Ooh, all right. And Diadems, exclamation point, 1D3. Which kind of a monk? Which kind of a monk do we have? One is Way of the Four Elements. Well, we were invoking characters from Avatar, Avatar: The Last Airbender. A monk of this variety would make for a very good entertainer gladiator. I need elf, comma, wood. All right, so we have a young adult still. And I need a D6 roll from someone. If anyone came over in the raid and wants to roll, you can. Absolute Aaron, if you're still here. Morikoto, if you're here. Otherwise, let's pick on Cryptic Corpse if you're still here. Cryptic Corpse, can I get a D6 roll? We might not. GM perspective, real quick, if you're still here, 1d6. Stops on a 4. Oh, yes, we have an edgy, chaotic, evil 15-year-old. Plays with fire, even. Come on. We have an edgy teen, firebug person who's out to get other people's attention. Now, I don't know if that hits close to home to any of you, but enjoy the facial exercises from cringing on your past, as I often do on my own. Because come on now, everyone. So what's funny is he's all show, but he's actually really clumsy and probably broods about that. Yep, Rob. All right. Rob, coming to terms and admitting it is the first step to releasing the cringe held within us from all of our pasts and youths. Edom says, I kind of want to incorporate the extra character development stuff from 5e, just not sure how my players would react to it. I mean, all we're doing here is very system agnostic. I mean, yeah, we're talking about a monk, and maybe a monk doesn't exist in a particular system or with specificity the 4 elements. But a lot of what we're doing for the personality and the expression of the character, the role of the character in the party, and by that I mean, in this case, what did we roll? The Sage? A wise figure with knowledge for those who inquire. Include wisdom, experience, and insight. So we have the know-it-all Molgoth Firebug teen, who, when it comes down to it, for all he talks about, has the long goth black hair spiked over the eyes, often talks like this. It's better not to fight at all, tries to espouse wisdom, but in the end is actually a coward. that makes for amazing and compelling storytelling. And an obstacle over which this character can, can develop. All of the characters that we just made are very potent, very fertile fields to develop a story. We have a monk who's bad at dex. We have a paladin warlock who's bad at charisma. We have a mentor who's bad. And our main character is a brooding kind of Wednesday Addams style character. And this means we are going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun, especially in the young adult category, to develop the angst. That at least one of these characters, maybe the wood elf, is going to be a pizza cutter. All edge, no point. And through that, we're going to see character development. And we're going to see a lot of amazing ways to write how this journey of absolute misfits. The whole party are absolutely misfits, and I love it. We don't have the noble, bright hero. We don't have, the perfect, Chad or Stacy, who's the hero. We actually have broken people with flaws who make questionable decisions in their youth and, in their youth and in their twilight years. And on top of that, I mean, yeah, we can joke that, there's edginess and, that instead of a wood elf, maybe it's like a goth elf or something. Like, I can hide in the fog because the fog hides my emotions. Or something, We can have some fun with it. But we can, for those of you out there, if any of you, like Afro Rob said, yep, that hits home. There are personality traits embedded in each of these 4 characters that parts of them we can go, yep, know that, been there. And we can wince and cringe as we reflect back on our own lives. And that also means that we are hooked in and we want to see how they go and grow. Just as we have grown as people since those times, or if you're still there and you're like, you know what, I'm maybe being a Molgoth isn't for me. Now, if it is for you, be a Molgoth, right? Black pointy bangs, makeup, wear the 6-inch boots and everything. That's fine. I'm not saying being a goth or being whatever, a brooding edgelord is terrible. These are things that we can identify with in some way from our own lives or the contact with other people that we have. And you know what? If you're doing it even outside of being a teen, being younger, maybe you don't know better, or you just see other people doing it and you fall into it, or it's something that manifests because just, other people are into it, so I want to be popular and do it too, or whatever. If you're still doing it years down the road, you're making a conscious decision. It's a firm part of who you are and what you do and how you express yourself. That's part of you. And there you go. You're not hurting anyone else. At least I hope not. Don't hurt other people being a Molgoth. But it's still something you can hold on to. And you can say, even this one little part, I wonder what could have happened if I took a different trajectory like what this character is doing. Or you might go, with something else. It gives you a moment to stop and think. And as a writer, if you get the reader to stop and go, ring, you got 'em, you hooked 'em, because now they're invested in your story to see where it goes. They want to follow along, they want to read along, and they want to find aspects of the characters that they like and that they don't like. And if you have characters that have flaws like that, where your reader just goes, why? Why? They're feeling feelings. Instead of just going, oh, all right, well, that's, whatever. The character is just all topic, right? They're not a hot topic, like all just topical. Like there's no depth to the character. It's just, oh, this person has these adjectives and that's it. Well, there's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing that's compelling or caring. Because just like you are a human being and not a human doing. Your characters, while they are not real characters, you want your characters to be something and not just to do things, right? Show don't tell, human beings and not human doings. Because I am not as compelled by what people do. Because people do good things, but people do a lot of really asinine and stupid stuff. I am way more interested in learning who that person is, because it tells a great story, and it offers even more amazement for the accomplishment, or context for the failure, which then also leads into forgiveness and other ways to continually interact with other people. Human beings, not human doings, and show don't tell. That's why I didn't want to spend a lot of time on the mechanics. I don't care how many hit points the characters have. Characters all have 1 hit point there. That's all we need to know in a mechanical term. I'm not worried necessarily about other minor details, and I'm not worried about mechanical details. I don't care if they have a backpack with 50 feet of rope and a dagger and a winter blanket. I'm not worried about that right now, because we need to know who these people are. What they do, how they do it, are extensions of them, but it's all facade. Let's get to know the character's character. And I think that we did that in a very expedited manner as well, with all your all's help.